The three were focusing their eyes on the once black swan as if they would expect the answer from him.
Well aware that double negation cancels out, the swan turned into a glowing strange pale color, babbling along.
P was, earth is not, is.
All the time the strange pale glow intensified.
Then there was a sudden puff to white.
And then the swan wasn't any longer.
Meanwhile,
the friends of the puffed-out swan surreptitiously had left the place and soon after were seen running to the horizon,
where they finally vanished in the ether band, guided by a yellow bird.
They may or may not have understood why the black swan puffed out, as they still seem to believe in his lies with devotion.
And will all live happily after.
Or at least as long they find gullible people who pay money for feeding their fantasy of a flat earth.
The other three.
The Haversine, and the modus tollens,
are still getting a good laugh from everybody. They tell the story how they puffed out the black swan.
And they all lived happily after.
No cliffhanger this time.
And thanks for staying tuned up to the end.
Epilogic.
The modus tollens still remains to be misunderstood sometimes, especially when he refuses to take sides with anybody. For example, some people say they believe in a stationary Earth, as otherwise airplane travel times would be shorter east to west than west to east. But that's not what we observe.
Everybody with basic knowledge how airplanes fly will point out there are actually two preconditions. If P1, Earth is not stationary, and P2, the atmosphere does not move along with Earth, then Q, flying west to east, if possible at all, will take longer than flying east to west. We don't observe Q, therefore not P2, so the atmosphere moves along with Earth.
This will make the modus tollens jump up, pointing out, not P1 and P2, is equivalent to not P1, or not P2. And therefore, based on that logical predicate alone, Earth may well be stationary.
Of course we know Earth is not stationary for many other reasons.
But it's not consequential from that particular line of logic.